Welcome back to the 6th Gear Garage. Today I'll show how to fix a bent wheel with some fire, bottle jack, socket, and sanding block. Here's the bend. It's not too bad. The tire still held air just fine. Judging by the curb rash at the bend, I'd say it saw a pretty gnarly pothole. First thing I did is put a mark here at the worst part of the bend. Now a professional shop would have a machine to turn the wheel, and then a run-out dial indicator that moves in and out to show the high and low points. But I'm not quite that equipped here. I just use my fingers. But it's obvious enough that I can tell it's right here. I'm going to be heating up the repair area with this torch. Yellow canisters are MAP gas. They get hotter than the propane ones. The blue ones are propane. Here's my bottle jack. It's a 12-ton from Home Depot. And the sanding block to fit inside the barrel of the wheel for the bottle jack to sit on. And a big old socket. That's going to sit right here in this groove on top of the jack. Because it's a big flat surface, and I need to press on a smaller area of the wheel, so the socket on top will give more of a round contour, a little closer to the shape of the wheel. I'll put links to all these things in the description. Next, I got everything lined up. Now that I have everything positioned where I need, it's time for fire. I'm focusing the flame right on the mark I made. The heat will dissipate on its own. No need to try to heat up a huge section of the wheel when the repair area is small. This is just to soften up the aluminum a little, because aluminum is brittle compared to steel. It has a greater chance of cracking where the steel would bend. So I'm getting this hot for a minute. Make sure the socket is sitting in that groove I showed earlier. See how it's kicking the socket up like that? I need to reposition the top of the jack a little more inside. It's still wanting to kick the socket up a little bit, but just barely, so I can hold it in place with my hand. I'm wearing heavy gloves. This is a little sketchy, so disclaimer, don't try this at home. I've been messing around with this setup for a minute now. I'm sure the aluminum cooled off a bit. See it starting to push the top of the wheel up? It actually elongates the whole barrel from the pressure of the jack, but that's going to go back to its original shape. It's the heated area under pressure that's actually being bent back. That feels better. Looks better. Now I need to focus on the outer edge of the lip, and I've made a little platform for the jack so I can move it farther out to the edge of the lip. I heated up the repair area just like last time and got the jack in place. Notice I don't need the socket this time. The shape of the jack is pretty close to the edge of the lip. You can really see it elongating the wheel as it bends the lip out. Except that's as high as she goes. The piston keeps sliding back down. Easy fix. The pad on most bottle jacks threads out in case you need some extra height. That'll do. Put some more heat on it from the downtime. Now, here we go. Look at that. A little more. One more. One more. There's how it looks from the other angle. Looking a lot better. Here's a better look at the platform. 2 steel plates from a press and a piece of wood. And that was about the same height as the sanding block in the barrel. And there's some serious pressure on it right now. I'll let this cool down for a few. Alright, it cooled down. Looks good. Let the jack down and see how it looks. It's a lot better than it was before, but I can still see a slight flat spot. Yeah, right on top here. So I went back for another round on the edge of the lip. Give it one more. I know it's going to bend back a little after I release the pressure, so one more. I'll let this cool off and see how it feels. Looks pretty good to me. It's hard to tell 100% with that rash on the very edge, but I'm happy with this. Alright, it's cooled down. Let's see how it turned out. So, here it is. I'm not claiming it's 100% perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. Looks good to the old eyeball. I wish I did have a nice setup with the runout gauge so I could have done a before and after, but just a visual comparison of the before versus the after is enough to say that this definitely repaired the bend. And it was pretty minor to begin with. If I come across a wheel with a bigger bend, I'll do a video on that one as well. Let's do a side view. There's Gary, photobombed my video. Now I need to take care of this rash on the edge of the lip. This isn't too bad. It should clean up nice. I'm going to start with the file and take down the highest points here. Aluminum is really soft, so the file works fast. That's good. I've got some 100 grit sandpaper here, and this will smooth out the marks left by the file. Next I have some 220 grit paper. Nice and smooth. And some 500 grit paper. This will sand through the scratches left by the 220 grit. I'm out of 800 grit, so I'll jump to 1,000. There we go, nice and smooth. Now I'm no professional, but for a quick DIY repair, this ain't bad. One more thing I just thought of. I want to alleviate any concerns about the stretching of the wheel earlier that happened with the bottle jack. The heated area under pressure was the only part of the barrel that permanently changed shape. The rest of the wheel stayed round. So going across this way, I have 16 and 5/16 inches. Going across the other way, you can see it's exactly the same. 16 and 5/16 inches. So the wheel is still true. Thanks for watching. This is an Inky EK90 wheel for my 88 Acura Legend, and you can see it has these air passages. And as these directional wheels turn, they draw hot air and heat away from the hubs and brakes. Pretty smart design. It's a welded two-piece wheel.